Welcome back to my channel. My name is Olive and you are joining me today for a sunrise yoga and movement session. So all you're going to need is yourself and your yoga mat, perhaps grab a block if you usually practice with it, but we're going to start standing up, so I'll see you there. We're going to start practice standing up, so just make sure that the feet are about hip distance apart and you feel nice and balanced. Hands are going to start down by our side, and all we're going to start by doing is rocking up onto the balls of our feet, so elevating the heels as much as you're comfortable with. Back to flat feet, and then see if you can rock onto the heels and lift the toes. A little bit harder. So you're just going to rock backwards and forwards between the two. Establish your balance, see where you can find it. It can just be little lifts as well. It doesn't have to be like right onto the point of the feet or the heels. Okay, from here we're going to start to involve movement with the hands. So as I rock up onto my tiptoes, I'm going to reach my arms up. As I rock back down to my heels, arms by my side. So just getting in some movement into our shoulders as well. You can maybe work on breath control. Inhale to elevate, exhale to come down. Okay, let's go just a couple more here at your own pace. And then the next time you find yourself moving through the foot, solidify it down, take it down to the floor. Okay. From here, we're going to take it into some spinal rolls. So, on your inhale, reach the arms up, leaning backwards ever so slightly. And then on the exhale, draw the arms down, roll through the upper back, bend through the legs, folding forwards. Roll all the way back up the same way, extend out with the arms reaching up. And just rolling from extension down into flexion, pushing through the feet on a rise back up. Maneuvering your hands in whatever kind of way feels best for you. Again, you can work with your breath. You can get a little bit more creative with your movement as well if you fancy. Remember, this is a section of class where we just limbering up our joints, lubricating them all before we bring in some more holds. Okay, next time you rise all the way up, you're going to stay there. You're going to heel toe the feet a little bit wider, as wide as our yoga mat. You're going to take an inhale, draw both arms above your head. Take your right hand to hold your left wrist, and you're going to pull that left wrist over towards the right hand side. So you create a lovely side bend stretch. So we turn to the side. And what's nice about this one is if you lift your left heel up, you start to increase that lovely stretch sensation down the side of the body. So pulling as much as you want. Take one more breath. And then relax. Reset the arms on your inhale. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, pull it over towards the left side. Again, you can lift that right heel up. See what feels good, where you want to take it. And then elevate all the way back down. Release the hands. Give the shoulders a little roll, a little shake. Okay, we're going to take it down into a squat. To get there, we're going to slowly move through the hips. So hands onto the hips, be pretty liberal with the feet, and you're just going to start to draw some circles, maybe half circles backwards, side to side. You can circle it forwards. Then you're going to progressively bend into your knees more, and then take it all the way down into a squat. When you get to the squat, hands to the ground, and continue this movement, rocking side to side, opening through the heels, the knees, the ankles, the hips. You could even lift up through the arms, hang out there, whatever feels good. Okay. Then take it into a little bit of stillness. Hands can be resting down, or let's take the hands into an interlaced position, draw them behind the head, close down the elbows, chin drops to your chest. So coming into this a little juicy neck stretch. You could also do this with the hands to the floor, see what feels good. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then release, bring it all the way back up. From here we're going to lift up into our ragdoll. So push into the hands, lift the butt off the heels, letting the head relax. Knees slightly bent, and we can cradle the arms and rock side to side. Just think about lengthening through your entire spine, so continuing this sort of forward flexion down into your neck. Little bounce, little sway. And then when you're ready, take the hands up to the shins, start to walk them all the way up the leg until we arrive back to the start of our mat. Have a little roll through the shoulders, get the feet, draw them together. We're going to come into our first sequence. So, start to spread the toes on both feet, ground on through the right leg. You're going to come into baby eagle. So you're going to start by lifting onto the balls of the left foot, and you're going to cross that ankle over the right. So having both legs bent, and we're going to sink down into the butt, sink down into the knees, into the hips. And you can extend your arms out to the side if you want to. But just testing the balance, seeing how we feel, adding this hinging mechanic in, seeing if we can stabilize through the glutes. Take one more breath here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to try and keep the left toes down to the ground, but start to slowly rise all the way back up. We're going to draw a big circle with this leg, so start to take it out in front, circle it all the way around until it ends up behind the right foot. We land to the toes, both legs are going to bend, and we're going to rock in between the two movements. So we're just changing the angle of the feet, thus changing the angle of the subsequent joints, ankles, knees and hips, and just having a little roll around, a little play here. So you could take your hands down to the ground, you could straighten up the front leg, the back leg, you could add a little twist in, whatever feels good. Okay, now I'm going to take it forwards into a chair pose in a second. So ground back down through the right leg. We're going to start to slowly circle that left foot all the way forwards, match it next to the right, down into chair pose, hands travel to heart center. From here, left hand goes to the sacrum, fingers traveling down, and the right hand is going to cross over the left knee as we come into a twist. Now what you can do is keep the knees together, or you can let that right knee drop forwards, whatever feels more comfortable for you, or you can wriggle between the two. Okay, let's go for 2 more breaths here. Now keeping this position, can you start to lift your right heel off the floor and slide it all the way back so we end up in a high lunge. Inhale to reach arms up and above your head. We're going to stay, we're going to hold, and we're going to breathe here. To get a little bit more into the triceps, take the palms together and then draw the hands behind the head, moving towards the shoulder blades. You can stay with the shoulders over the hips, or you can extend and lift the chest up. Your choice, whatever feels good. Taking one more breath here. And then re-release the hands. Let the back knee come all the way down to the floor. Straighten up the front legs, send the hips behind you, hands to the ground, take it into half splits. Now here, you can start to point and flex into the front toes, if you fancy bringing in a bit of movement. You could also change the direction of where the hands are to add an element more for the upper body, like a little twist side to side, or you could travel the hands off the ground as you fold, wherever you want to go. Let's go for 2 more breaths here. And then when you are ready, from here we're going to start to rebend into the front leg. Take the hands down in front of that left foot. You're going to tuck and lift your back knee off the floor, hop the foot in ever so slightly, and then this time as you rock forwards into the left leg, float the right leg up and off the ground, coming into standing splits. So have a little bend into that left leg. Relax the head, look behind. Think about squeezing and elevating that top leg. So we're nice and active through the glutes, down to the heel. You can change up the position with your hands. Maybe you want to hold your left leg with one hand or both hands, or whatever feels good. Go for 1 more breath here. And then ground that right leg next to the left. Take it into ragdoll for a second. Or you can take the hands and squeeze down the calves, down the hamstrings, or maybe even make 2 fists and pat them out. Okay. Release, roll all the way back up to standing. Shake it out. Let's take it to the other side. Ground down into the left foot. Baby eagle pose to start with. Roll onto the balls or the tiptoes of the right leg. And we're going to cross over towards the left ankle. Let the knees bend. Release the hands by your side. Get nice and solid through the legs. Think about squeezing and drawing them towards one another. So you get a little bit of feedback from the adductors and abductors. Finding this hinge in the chest. Lovely. Taking one more breath here. And then as we rise, we're going to keep the right toes down to the ground and draw that big circle. So start to straighten up. Circle that foot behind the left. Land down to the balls, bending in and out of the legs. Rolling however you want. Again, remember you can maneuver the arms. You can maneuver the spine. You can feel and play out with the balance, wherever you want to take it. Before we come into our chair pose or twisted chair. Okay, let's go. With 2 more breaths. Don't worry about chucking yourself off balance. Then back through the middle. Straighten up the back leg. Circle it all the way forwards. Match right foot next to left. Bending into the legs, hands to heart center. This time right hand to the sacrum. Left hand reaches over the right leg. Come into your twisted chair. Remember you can bend your right leg more or your left leg. Then switch between the two. Or if you're happy just being as you are, go with that. Okay. I'm going to go with one more breath here. And you're going to lift your left heel off the ground, slide that foot behind you, rising up into your high lunge. Arms reaching above your head, bending into the front leg. Drawing palms together, take them in between the shoulder blades behind the head. Again, you can continue shoulders over hips or extend out of the chest. Whatever feels good. Take one more breath here. Release, arms up and above your head. Bring your back knee down to the ground. Push the hips behind. Hands to the floor, arriving into our half splits position. And again, point and flex into the front toes. You can twist side to side. You could fold down forwards, you could remove the hands from the equation, whatever this side would like to do. Okay. Now when you're ready, roll it back forwards, bend into the front leg, take the hands in front. You're going to lift your back knee off the floor, hop it in a little bit closer. And then as you bear more weight down into the front leg, into the hands, float your left leg up and off the ground, coming into standing splits. Remember, you can have a little bend to the right leg, it doesn't have to be dead straight. See where you want to take your arms, whatever position. Allowing the breath to kind of regulate itself, especially as we're inverted. One more breath. And then ground that top leg. Let the head relax, cradle the arms in ragdoll, or squeeze down through the calves, pad out through the hamstrings. When you're ready, roll it all the way up to standing, arriving to the top. Have a little wriggle. And we'll take it into our second sequence. So from the top of your mat, you're going to step back with your left leg, turning all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat. Take a breath in here. And then on your exhale, you're going to start to fold forward. So think about pushing your hips behind you. Little bend in the legs if you need. Hands come down. We're going to walk both of our hands round towards the left leg. Doesn't matter if it's down to the ankle, or we hold the shin or the thigh, but we're going to draw the chin down to our chest. So creating this lovely side bend. So think about really pulling through the right arm. If you wanted to, you could bend in and out of the right leg. And what that does is just kind of increase that stretch sensation down into the right side of the body. Okay. And take one more breath here. And then slowly soften. You're going to walk your hands all the way back to the middle of your mat, and now we're going to come down into side lunge. So you're going to bend, bend, bend into the right leg, start to sink the hips to the floor, and lifting the left toes off the ground. So in this position here, we're going to hold, we're going to breathe. If you would like to change the position of the arms, option is to reach further forwards, take them to heart center, or to create a side bend, whatever feels good. I'm going to keep my hands to the floor so I can sort of take my attention towards the muscles on the inner left thigh. Okay, I'm going to take one more breath here. And then, when you're ready, have a little look down towards the right leg. We're going to spin the hands around so they face the front of our mat. Rotate onto the balls of the back foot. All 10 toes face forwards. Bring that left knee down to the floor. We're going to keep pushing through that left hand. The right hand is going to return to our sacrum like we did in the chair pose. And we're going to twist towards the right hand side. And again, holding, breathing here. An option, if you would like, to involve the back leg is to slowly lift the left lower leg up and off the floor. Think about drawing the heel in towards your butt. With the right hand, you can always reach back. Maybe you catch a foot, maybe it stays hovering in the air, whatever you fancy. I'm going to go for one more breath here. Let the left leg come back down to the ground if it's elevated. We're going to take the right hand next to the left. Push into the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Have a little pedal through the legs. Rise up nice and high onto the balls of the feet, so lifting the heels off the ground. You're going to bend into the knees, sink down into like a squat down dog, and then roll it forwards to a plank. Back into the squat down dog, forwards to plank. One more time. To the squat, forwards to plank. Now this time as you take it to the squat, and then as you roll forwards, you're going to think about bringing your left knee with you. So as you roll forwards to plank, draw the left knee in towards the chest, land it in between the hands, slide your back leg behind you, and we're going to come down into pigeon pose. So you can be more upright if you like, or you can creep the arms away, lower down to whatever height's most comfortable, and let yourself hold and breathe here for a couple breaths. You can always put a pillow underneath your left butt cheek or a block. And think about the contact points beneath your body and the ground, kind of really pressing and engaging into them. Okay. I'm going to go for one more breath here. Now from here, a little bit of a different transition. We're going to start to slowly walk it all the way up. You're going to take your left butt cheek, place it to the ground. Let the right leg travel all the way around to the front, and it's going to cross over that left leg. And take it into a twist here. So left hand to the right knee, right hand moves behind when we come into the twist. Just holding briefly. See if you can keep both butt cheeks on the ground. Doesn't matter if that right leg slides ever so slightly forwards. We're going to go one more breath here. And then rotate it forwards. Now to come back to standing, how do we get there? You're going to take both hands down towards the ground on the left hand side. As you push into the hands, lift the butt, lift them to the balls of the feet, walk the hands all the way around the back of the mat. And then as we turn to face forwards, we come to standing with legs crossed. Now we can just untangle them and give them a little shake. Cool. So we're going to do this on the other side. So I'm going to swap the position I'm in. So when you're ready, final sequence. Stepping back with that right foot. Turning all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat. Take your inhale. Exhale, push your hips behind, folding yourself forwards. Walk both hands to the right leg this time. Let the head relax. Think about really pulling left arm into your right leg. And if you wanted to, bending in and out off the left. Finding a little bit of extra movement, whatever feels good here. Beautiful. Taking one more breath. And then lifting, start to walk the hands back to the middle, and then have a little look towards your left foot. You're going to bend down into it and take it into your side lunge. So right toes lift up and off the ground as we come and elevate our chest. Again, where do you want to take it? Do you want to walk your hands away? Do you want to keep them to the ground? Hands to your heart? Or do you want to create your side bend? Go with whatever feels good. Breathing here and holding. I'm going to go with one more breath. Now take your hands back down to the ground. Have a little look to your left foot. You're going to rotate all the 10 toes and fingers to face the top of your mat, bringing your back knee down to the floor. Now into our twist. Right hand stays connected to the floor. Left hand to our sacrum as we rotate towards the left hand side. Again, you can stay here, or you can start to slowly lift your back heel up and off the ground, starting to perhaps get a bit of feedback into the hamstrings, into the quads. Maybe you reach back with your left hand if there's a connection or not. Breathing, holding here. Going for one more breath. And then slowly release that back leg down to the ground. As you plant the left hand to the floor, we're going to step it back into our downward facing dog. Again, have a little shake through the head, little pedal through the feet. We're going to go through those downward dog kind of pulses again. So roll up high into the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, sink down into the down dog squat. Roll forwards to the plank. Back to the squat. Roll forwards to plank. One more time, to squat. Forwards to plank. This time we add in pigeon pose. Back to the squat. And then as you roll forwards, right knee travels in towards the arms. Land the leg to the floor, slide the back foot away. Pillow underneath your butt cheek if you want it to. And then take it down. Folding towards the ground. However high, however low you want to go. Letting the head relax if you fancy. Breathing into the body, perhaps paying particular attention to the muscles of the upper back. Okay. One more breath here. And then when you're ready, roll it all the way back up again. You're going to drop your butt down towards the right hand side. And that left leg travels from the back all the way to the front. I'm just going to cross over that right leg. Take your right hand to the knee, your left hand behind you, bring yourself into a twist. Again, both butt cheeks stay connected to the ground. See if you need to sort of change the position off that left leg ever so slightly. Going one more breath here. And then as you rotate it all the way forwards, that transition back to standing. Both hands down towards the ground on the right hand side. Roll and lift the hips onto the balls of the feet. Walk the hands all the way around to the back of the mat. And then as you come forwards, back to standing. Arm across the legs. We're going to finish in mountain pose. So feet about hip distance apart. Hands down by your side. And closing down the eyes. And just taking a moment to pay attention to your breath. The inhalations and exhalations, to your body temperature, your heartbeat, to the balance between the feet and the ground, to your joints, your muscles, and to finally your headspace. When you're ready to come back to the room, take your palms together, rub them against one another. Take your hands over your eyes, and release, and come back to your space when you're ready. So I hope you enjoyed that sunrise yoga movement session. If you had any questions or suggestions for future classes, do let me know. Make sure you click subscribe so I can keep posting content, and I will see you next time. Bye!